Hey guys, Luna here, and we're back with Friendsim of a Hiveswap. Last time we just met the rancher Skyla, who's a bronze blood, and now we're going to meet a jade blood. At least I'm assuming based off of the color. Yes, the presumably jade blood vampire Bronya Ursama. You've been traveling through a cave network for a while now. The rigid stone is a welcome respite from an eerily organic infrastructure you've been encountering, but it's also proving an unwelcome respite from friend-making. Maybe it was too much to hope for that this cavern would be home to another potential new buddy. Maybe leaving the big city behind was a horrible mistake. Just maybe these dark, cold tunnels are completely devoid of... Oh, hang on, there's a bunch of buildings in the distance. Oh, hello. Thought you were one of my girls, but don't seem like a jade blood or anything else, actually. Strange. You convey your unusual smile, spiel regarding your circumstance. Lost, lonely, ribs are still broken, you think? Honestly, the ribs are fine, you could just use another friend or two. I see. My first responsibility is to my jades and the mother grub, so I cannot make any promises of friendship just yet, but you do look like you need someone to take care of you. Oh, and yet the little fangs. Here is the brooding cavern. We follow a few simple rules. Don't fight drama up top down below. Protect the mother grub. We have no hierarchy, but we do what I say. Let's do everything we can just to keep our current record of dozens of sweeps without any jades being called. You're not sure what half of those words mean, but you nod your head. Good, I'll take you to our hive. Follow me. You follow her into her hive, which looks like a school for some kind of dormitory with multiple rooms and multiple floors. Usually, more of my jades are around. I suppose that everyone is watching the Imperial drones arrive with the ethereal pails. Girls, we have a visitor to our caverns. Do not be alarmed by the bizarre appearance. They seem to be harmless, and do not give them any more injuries than they already have. Our visitor deserves a warm jade blood welcome. She clasps her hand. No one else is around, but you stand to attention and give her a thumbs up to show that you read her loud and clear. You notice he called you visitor and not friend. That's okay. You can do whatever it takes until you're upgraded from visitor to friend, or at least charity case. You follow upstairs, and she stops at a big room on the second floor. When you step into it, you have to clap your hand over your mouth to keep from gagging the revolving sight. There are big, baby-sized larva-looking things all over the floor, squirming around and crying, and inchworming out of a kiddie pool of green slime. What the heck? This is our nursery. Most of these wrigglers are sick or injured, so we look after them in here until they're well enough to go back out into the... She looks shifty, all of a sudden giving you some side-eye, like she's sizing you up. You try to look very non-threatening and also 100% trustworthy. Keep this nursery on the down low. It's not against any laws, but it's something of a break with a tradition to save any of the grubs instead of just letting them die. Tell you the truth, I'm not sure why we did it. So she uses the royal re. Guess it just feels right to me to take care of them in the same way I take care of my jades. Nursery, huh? You look around with the new information. I guess you can sort of see how these wrigglers look like babies. One of these things could grow up into anything that looks like Bronya, but this is an alien planet, so who knows? She takes over to the shelf that seems to hold medical supplies. You're not sure what can be done for your broken ribs, but maybe she has some kind of alien technology that can help. But when she starts going through the cabinets, you don't see anything that looks high-tech like the thing that fixed your arm. I guess that's most of what we have is stuff for wigglers. I'm not familiar enough with your bizarre anatomy to know what will help. But you're not completely sure how to do something. It's best to try anyways. 1, even if you fail, everyone else can still learn from your mistake. 2, maybe you won't fail. You never know. You're not so sure about applying this ethos to your broken ribs, but she looks so determined it might be rude to say no. Go ahead and save. Go for it. My rib's already broken, so where's the harm? Come here. Okay, lift your shirt so I can get to the part of your injured bellow sack enclosures. Yes, like that. And the part that's all bloody and horrifying toward me. She has something that looks like some kind of ointment. It's a shade of bright green similar to the slime beds you see around the nursery, and it also seems to be glowing. Seems like there's nothing wrong applying it to your skin. Despite your optimism, the second Bronya rubs some of it on your broken skin, you feel searing hot, like you just got doused with poison. You flinch back instinctively, your momentum carries you too far, and you step back and trip on something behind your feet. You cartwheel your arms, but it's no use, you're going down, yelling timber. You feel something soft and squeaky, but oh no, oh no, not the grubs! You feel something soft and squishy break your fall, and you hear a terrible squelching noise and some kind of animal squeal. You have fallen right into one of the wigglers. You roll off it, but there's no use. It's squashed flat, and you're covered in olive fluid that you think might be its blood. You look up to see Bronya's horrified face and know that there's no hope for friendship in those vengeful eyes. You might want to run before I throw you out of this window and break the rest of your bones. Over at his deadliest butt. I just... Thanks, but no thanks. I'll yell on my own just fine. Well, if you're so sure... I'm worried about you, though. You seem like you need help. And I wish I could help you more. Which, I feel like this is going to be a continuous theme. If anyone tries to help us, we just do not accept. If I can't take care of someone, I'm not sure how we can truly be friends. You try and cheer her up, pointing out that your friendship is two-way street. After all, she doesn't have to concern herself with your mutilated frame. How can you help her instead? Oh, sure. There are things around here that I could use some assistance with. However, don't take this wrong way. Though we only just met, I don't know if I can trust you to be responsible as I am. It's not easy to be the one in charge. You have to be 1. Conscientious, 2. Considerate, and 3. Competent at all times. You try to think of the times when you've been conscious, considerate, or competent. You're drawing a bit of a blank, but hey, new planet, new you. You're sure that you have what it takes. I guess if you want that you help me out today. Careful to step around all the little guys on the floor as you head out of the nursery. She takes you back outside, and these cabins are even bigger than you first realized. They are also dark and cold and gloomy, and you can't see anywhere that might lead you up to the planet's surface. Does she really just live down here at all times? Make some conversation during this cold hike in a dark cave. You mentioned that living underground like this seems kind of depressing. You realize it's too late that this wasn't very tactful, but she doesn't get angry at your conversational gambit of insulting her home. I don't know, it's very peaceful down here. Well, in comparison to anywhere else. I quite enjoy it. The brooding caverns are a place for life and birth, not death. That's pretty uncommon for Altaria. You're still not quite sure what he means by brooding caverns, but your guess it's something to do with wigglers in our nursery. Before you can ask, you reach the top of the ridge and get a new, wider view of the rest of the cavern. It's enormous and probably the size of a small city. All over the cave floor, you see more wigglers crawling everywhere. Cocoons line the cave walls and the large stalactites, and with some young trolls crawling out of them. Walking, flying, and crawling amongst the wigglers and young trolls are a variety of white monsters of all kinds and shapes and sizes. In the center of the cavern there is, you don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a huge many-legged queen bug of some kind with a goat-shaped skull and horns coming out of her head. Her bulbous indica ripples as she lays a continuous stream of hundreds of eggs from which you assume the grey wrigglers will hatch. And marching through all of this, you see several hulking bipedal creatures, each carrying 2 buckets, either to or away from the mother grub. They looked armed and they moved for regimented troops, soldiers of some kind. Terrified of them. This is where the magic happens, and by that I mean the continuation of our species. Bloods like myself are entrusted with looking after the process, which of course is a very special job. Which, yeah, if you remember from if you ever remember from Homestuck, if you've read through that, basically, as she says, the Imperial drones carry filial pails of genetic material to mother grub for her slurry. 2. She lays eggs that hatch new grub broods. 3. After the wriggler emerges from the cocoons, the new trolls will go through the trials, and the ones that make it will be selected by a Luskus to help take care of them. Together, the young trolls and the Luskus goes to the surface together where trolls grow up or get called or whatever. So basically, at age 13, you, which is either 12 or 13 when roughly in human years, the trolls get their Luskus and finish the trials. I don't know when they finish you are living on their planet. It's assumably 18 or 21, but I don't know for sure. As Bruce explains troll reproduction to you, one of the Imperial drones veers sharply to the left and in the process tramples over a few wrigglers and young trolls. The drone continues on, but several of the Luskai cry out, crowding around their dead or injured chargers. One of them, a gigantic beast that resembles a bison, bellows and rears it on its hind legs, hitting one of the other Luskais with its front hoof. Oh jeez, not again. There's a lot of what we have to deal with. Whenever a Luskus goes rogue out of grief or confusion, there's a potential for it to lash out at other Luskai, the wrigglers, or the mother grub herself. Bloods cannot let that happen. She looks so concerned, in marked contrast to how confident she seemed before now. You offered to help her out earlier, and it seems like now is your chance. Someone has to stop that rogue Luskus, and that someone could be you. And since we already did the first 2 here, we can just overlap it. And I'm gonna fight the monster, save the day, you got this. The bison Luskus seems to be causing quite a ruckus. Other Luskai have gone riled up too, with some of them trying to gather wrigglers to keep them out of harm's way and others just getting hyped to thrash. It seems like it could turn into a monster stampede. They're close to the mother grub's big, soft, vulnerable abdomen. Not great. Fighting a monster single-handedly seems like a daunting first step in a friendship, but you did tell you could be responsible. You square your shoulders off and tell Bronya that she has nothing to worry about. You're going to stop that Luskus, calm down all the other Luskai, and protect the mother grub, all without breaking his heart and hopefully without breaking any more bones either. Well there, I was going to suggest that I go after her while you stay here. You seem kind of weak and fragile, even apart from your injuries, I mean. I don't want you to get hurt and worse, and I'm not sure I trust anyone other than myself to take the lead on this. That wasn't quite the reaction you were hoping for. Normally you would be all about sitting back and letting her protect you, because, well, protect luck on her. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and you don't know how else you're going to prove yourself worthy to be her friend. You do your best to project an air of confidence, or at least competence. You can assure her that this is no sweat for you, and take down the raging bison back on your home plane all the time. Known for it, actually. Well, if you say this isn't your first undulating, roping galley expedition, I'll believe you. I won't beg to let you give you a shot. The name gets too overwhelming in there. I'm right here. Okay. 1. Caring for the mother grub is my responsibility as a jade blood. 2. I'll never have abandoned a friend to deal with a mess on their own. If we end up being friends, that is. Oh, heck yes. Now you have reason to help. Approach the rampaging bison with caution. Do all bisons have horns like that? Maybe they do. You're no bison expert, but you're pretty sure they don't have teeth that nasty. Bison on Earth mostly eat grass, don't they? This guy doesn't look like a herbivore. First, you try and calm the Luskus down by talking to it, but your soothing words have no effect. In fact, you might have just made it angrier by suggesting that it pause and take some deep breaths in reaction to it and trample a charge. You're not even sure you can understand human speech, come to think of it. You circle around it, wishing that you had some kind of lasso or something. Maybe you can herd it away from the mother grub. You look around to see if there's any other Luskars look vaguely like Earth shepherd dogs, but no dice. You hesitate too long and the Luskar turns away from the mother grub. It stamps its hooves, snorts air out of its nostrils, and screams in the way that sound a lot more hellish than you imagine normal bison are. Obviously about to charge, and you can only do the one thing you can do. In desperation, you leap forward and tackle it football style, doing everything you can in a flimsy human body to drag it onto its side. It half works. You plow into the Luskus and stop it in its tracks, but it topples over to a nest of wrigglers, taking you down with it. Wigglers and young trolls go bouncing everywhere, squealing in distress, and the Luskais descend upon you in rage. Everything in chaos for a while. You're trapped beneath the bison Luskus, which is very mooring for all your body parts, and you think you might feel something important rupturing inside you. But hey, on the bright side, this crushing mass is protecting you from all the other pissed-off Luskais trying to attack you. Just as your whole breathing situation is starting to get dicey, you hear a commotion and what sounds possibly the trouncing of some smaller Luskais that are trying to get you. A crowd of beasts around you scatters and you hear her, "Whew, having a hard time getting this thing off you. Still very angry and he keeps trying to kick me. What a bronze blood when you need one." You don't know what that means, but you're very grateful that she's here to help you. You try to communicate this, but it comes out garbled from all the blood in your mouth. Maybe don't try to speak, move, or help. You experience a sinking feeling that could be related to your diminishing odds of impressing man, or it could be the compression of all your internal organs. Either way, it's tough to feel optimistic right now. But before you can give in to complete despair, you hear other voices. Your view is blocked by the mass of bison flesh on top of you, but could it be? Are these other people here to save you? Finally, I was wondering where y'all gone off to. Let's work together, girls. 1, you two grab its horns and keep its head sunk, keep it from biting anyone. 2, the rest of you come around with me to its backside so we can push it without getting kicked. Here's also, basically, this is the flip side. So I'm assuming mostly Jade Bloods went to steal Sky's dog, and then they just came back. Use some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making noise that sounds more confused and less furious. The pressure and pain on your chest briefly spike in intensity as the thing weight shifts, and then they must succeed in dragging it off of you because suddenly you can breathe again. But the crisis is not over yet. While you're still testing the use of your lungs and blinking up the cavern ceiling, you hear a new cacophony of enraged monster noises. The other Luskais are still agitated. Get down there and try to calm them down. Protect the mother grub. You try and lift yourself to see what's going on, but maybe putting any weight on your arms makes you feel like maybe all of your bones got turned to confetti. Painful confetti. You feel strong hands propping you up gently, and now you feel your head is on. You try to focus more on how this is a nice place for your head to be in less on the pain. This is not good. I don't know if my jades can reach the stampede in time, and the mother grub could be injured. Not to mention all these wrigglers are in danger. Oh no. You didn't think that this situation could get any worse, but now you see that several of the Imperial drones that have been about to leave the cavern are turning back, drawn by all the noise and chaos. But maybe this could be a good thing? Maybe they can instill some order? Fuck, they're gonna kill everyone! She scrambles to your feet, in the process letting your head whack down the cavern floor. Your vision swims, but you can still make out the drones firing indiscriminately at Luskais, the grubs and wigglers, and at the jade bloods. One more laser beam skims the side of the mother grub's massive midsection, and her scream is so loud that the ceiling shakes for a few stalactites shake loose, falling on drones and Luskais and wigglers alike. It's a total catastrophe, A whole rainbow's worth of troll, wiggler, and luskus blood is splattering on the cabin walls. Bronya seems paralyzed by the chaos, looking from her jade to the mother grub to the imperial wigglers like she's not sure who to help first. Cannot believe it, this is the worst disaster we've had down here, all because I thought I could sit back and let someone else be responsible for once. If I was a less secure person, I could let this moment plant a seed of self-doubt in my mind about my ability to take care of others and do. Or I could chalk it up to you being really fucking stupid. And you shrink under the weight of her glare. She's green in the face from how angry she is. You swallow and manage to spit out enough blood to ask the question that you already know is hopeless. Does this mean you can't be friends? Are you serious right now? I do not make friends with anyone who recklessly endangers the trolls and wigglers under my care. And you killed them all. Look, another angry. You mean? So basically, I have to be super weak and let her do her job. You definitely do not feel like the idea of waiting until a monster fight, not even to save the premier of your new friend species. In fact, you don't like the idea, Bronya, it's so weird. In the Bronze Blood, doing stuff was good, and in this one, not doing stuff is good. In fact, you don't like that Bronya is so focused on protecting all these helpless toddlers and distressed animals instead of taking care of you. You stammer out that you don't think that you can take any kind of monster right now. In fact, you kind of just felt another stab of pain in your ribs. Might be blacking out. Bronya's concerned face turns in your direction as you start to swoon. She catches you before you hit the ground and your heart flutters. You look up at her serious face and she looks like such a mom, but also such a friend. Like some sort of combination of these two concepts. Yikes, you don't look so good. I'll leave you alone, not when you're in such bad shape. Maybe I could carry you on my back while I try to stop that rampaging Luxus. Your heart flutters, turn to pinpricks of alarms. That sounds dangerous, mainly for you. Try and think of what you can say to dissuade her, something other than, I think you should ignore the helpless babies and mothers and dangers behind you and in favor of continuing to hold me in your strong arms. I would not say that, I would say take care of everyone else. But before you can speak, you hear commotion behind her. She turns to look over at her shoulders, and her face sags with relief. Yes, they should know what to do. We've taken care of crises like this before. Of course, usually I'm there to help. If you crane your neck, you can just glimpse a crowd of trolls crawling the rogue Luskus away from the mother grub, while the trolls calm the remaining Luskus and swoop up any wigglers in harm's way. It looks like I needn't have worry. They're more than capable of stepping in while I'm otherwise occupied. So proud. You take this opportunity to compliment her on what a good leader she must be to have trained the others so well. Super smooth. She beams at you and sets you down carefully on the cabin floor, kneeling at your side. This could have gone quite badly. I'm glad I didn't make the wrong choice when I stayed to help you instead of rushing off. This goes to show sometimes the best thing you can do for the group is to take care of the weakest person in it. Kind of want to object to being called the weakest person, but you did just fake fainting spell for attention, so maybe now isn't the best time. Instead, you thank her sincerely for sticking by your side. The two of you watch together as order is gradually restored to the chaos below. Even with your injuries, you can feel close to and quite hopeful about how this relationship is progressing. You notice that at your side, several wigglers are blindly squirming around, confused and crying. There are some young trolls here too, looking all around lost and bereft. Not sure if the Luskai ran off with the others that got involved in the frost, or if these little guys are orphans now. Now that you're seeing tavern light, the wigglers look less like maggots to you. In fact, they're even kind of cute. You can see why Bronya would want to take care of them. Some of the smallest wigglers closer to you has somehow flipped himself over on his back and seems unable to right himself. His little legs are waving in the air while he cries. Trying to be careful with your ribs, you reach out to scoop him up and cradle him in your chest, rocking him back and forth until your cries quiet down. Wow, you have a strong nurturing instinct. I think he likes you. You almost look like you could be his Luskus or Jade Blood. You're pleased that she approves of your caretaking display. The wiggler's cough breaks through your haze of smug satisfaction, and when you look down, realize he seems to have some sort of trouble breathing. You point this out to Bronya. Good observation. Really are natural at taking care of other creatures, aren't you? Some people find that nurturing ability to be a very attractive and a potential friend. But as for this wriggler, that's definitely not a good sign. I'm surprised none of these drones have noticed that he's sick. If we leave him here, he'll be called for sure. Bronya takes his wriggler from you, and you're more than happy to hand him over, considering that you have no idea what to do with a sick baby that's not your species. Also, your broken ribs make holding a baby kinda painful. And Bronya holds the wriggler carefully, but with perfect ease, just like you hope she'll cradle your new friendship in its infancy. Once Bronya feels assured that her jade have the situation at the breeding caves under control, you both take the wriggler back to the jade blood nursery. You hover around uselessly while they're filled with green slime. You're a little concerned when she takes the wriggler and submerges him under the slime because, he's already having trouble breathing. Surely drowning him in slime won't help. This sober should help strengthen his bellow sacs and soothe his sorrow shoot. When he gets healthy again, I can take him back to the cabin and set him free to make his cocoon and pupates. He's so small, it's unlikely he'll survive the trials or be selected by Luscus. You hate to see Bronya looking sad. You try to be sympathetic, mentioning your astute observation that this whole system set up with the wigglers and the trials and the culling system seems pretty brutal. What? I would never suggest. This is just the way the world works, and it's fine. It's fine. The trials of our young trolls prove that they're strong enough to survive. It's only right for the weak to be culled. Jade bloods to ensure the continuation of our species. Consequently, they're hemo-spectrum. 1, we're not revolutionaries. 2, we're meant to do our jobs and keep our heads down and keep things running smoothly. 3, I would never presume to question the basic tenets of our Altarian society. That would bring negative attention from the high bloods, and I just want to keep my jade safe. You look around at the nursery and all these injured or undeveloped rulers that Bronya was apparently supposed to die. You think it might not be true that she doesn't question the way her world works. She's looking at you like she's scared you'll call her on it and expose her altruistic tendencies. You try and tackle this conversation thread. Did you say meant Joe? Yes, you feel 100% neutral on this topic, neither committed to the culling side of things nor eager to take on an revolutionary. Ah, yes, neutral is how I feel about it as well. What's a good word to describe how exactly I feel about all controversial political subjects? I mentioned that keeping a nursery isn't technically illegal, because it isn't. Technically. There's no reason for any Tier drones to come investigate or hide, and if any drones do come knocking, you have nothing to hide. No borderline revolution ideas will be tolerated within these walls. Bronya laughs nervously and looks around the room, like she's making sure that any Imperial drones hiding in here heard her announcement. You feel bad for how nervous she is. You didn't mean to freak her out. You tell her that she sounds super convincing, and why wouldn't she be? Because she's clearly telling the truth. And if you were an Imperial drone, you would definitely be satisfied right now with her clearly law-abiding and neutral ways. Thank you, that means a lot. You cast about or something to change the subject and mention that your ribs are feeling a bit better. Bronya's face brightens, and she lifts up your arms gently so she can touch the injured part of your torso, examining it in her typically responsible and authoritative way. You shiver and wonder for Tocho's healing properties. Glad to hear that. After all, I don't like it when my friends suffer. Your heart leaps. You look up, scarcely allowing yourself to hope. Could it be, or was you just making a general statement? If you're not in any great pain, hope you will soon. I'll take care of you until then, my friends. You're overcome, your eyes filled with tears. Bronya smiles at you and he squeezes your hand. Victory, self-care comes first. Huzzah! Oh, look at all the adorable little wigglers. They're so cute. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this and have a good day, night, week, month of your lives, and may the stars forever guide your path forever it might lead you into the future. Bye-bye.